Hello folks, my name is Rich Keener. I'm the Village Manager for the Village of Villa Park, and today's another one of my segments where I'll be talking about an upcoming Village Board meeting agenda. So folks, today's segment covers the board meeting agenda for Monday, May 10th. So let's start. So on the formal agenda for Monday, May 10th, we have number 1 is the call to order, the roll call. Number 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance. Number 3 is public comments on agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience to come to the podium and comment on items that are on the formal agenda for that evening. Moving on, we have number 4, which is amendments to the agenda. And folks, that's the appropriate time for the President or Board of Trustees to revise the formal agenda for that evening. Moving on, we have 5. We have resolutions. So we have 5A, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, supporting restoration of local government distributive fund revenues. So folks, the background on this particular item is that the state of Illinois has a long-term agreement with municipalities to support and invest in local services through the Local Government Distributive Fund, also known as LGDF. This fund includes the collection and distribution of tax revenues on behalf of municipalities. Since the state income tax was adopted in 1969, state government has shared a percentage of total income tax collections through the LGDF with municipalities on a per capita basis in lieu of a local income tax. These shared revenues have been significantly reduced by the state since 2011 from 10% to now 6.06%. Governor Pritzker proposed that the fiscal year 2022 state budget reduce the 10% municipalities should receive to the 6.06. Municipalities have dealt with fewer revenue sources in past years and have had to explore other options to maintain the current level of village services. This resolution urges the governor to restore LGDF payments to 10%. So folks, this resolution will be provided to the governor and other regional agencies to support our request that the governor restore LGDF funds from 6.06% back to 10% for the original agreement. And municipalities, whether they're cities or villages, rely on the LGDF funding to support local services, whether it's police or fire, snow plowing, mowing, parks, any of those specific functions or tasks. We rely on that funding to support current services, and when that funding does not come in, we have to explore other options to maintain the current level of service that we provide. So moving on to number 6 for Monday night, May 10th, we have the consent agenda. We have a 6A, which is minutes from the board meeting held on April 26, 2021. We have 6B, which is bill listings for the weeks of April 26, 2021 and May 3rd, 2021 in the amount of $652,031.87. So moving on to the agenda for Monday night is number 7, which is adjournment sine die. And what this means is it's a recess. So we're not adjourning the meeting, we're going to be recessing. So if you remember, we just had some recent elections. And so on Monday, May 10th, we're going to be swearing in the newly elected village president and trustees. So when the board meeting starts at 7 o'clock, we start with the previous board. And then number 7 on our agenda is the adjournment sine die, which is not a formal adjournment, it's more of a recess. And then number 8 on the agenda is the oath of office for newly elected officials by Judge Robert Kleeman. So what we're going to do, the first is elected village president, Nick Cazzone, elected village clerk, Hosanna Kornecki, elected village trustee, Jack Corkery, elected village trustee, Jack Kozar, and finally elected village trustee, Deepa Kumar. So all those folks will be sworn in by Judge Robert Kleeman. And then moving on the agenda, we'll have number 9, which is reconvene with newly established village board. And so at that time, Village President Cazzone will assume the meeting along with Village Clerk Kornecki, and then Village Trustee Ciela, Corkery, Kozar, Kumar, Murphy, and Patrick. And then after that, we'll proceed on the agenda to number 10. So it'll be the call to order, the roll call for the newly sworn in folks, the new board, if you will. Number 11 is a presentation of plaques by President Cazzone. So what that is, President Cazzone will present some plaques that we've had made for the elected officials that are departing. So President Bolthuis will be stepping away now from the board, and so will Trustee Tucker and Trustee Wagner. So moving on to number 12, we have proclamations. We have 12A, which is a proclamation of National Public Works Week, which is May 16th through the 23rd, 2021. And then moving forward in the agenda for May 10th, we have number 13, we have an ordinance. We have 13A, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting a variation pursuant to Article 9, Section 15-73A1 of the DuPage County Stormwater and Floodplain Ordinance. So folks, the background of this particular item is that the DuPage School District 45 proposes to construct an early childhood center on the Jackson Middle School property located at 301 West Jackson Street. Stormwater runoff associated with this new center is required to be detained. Stormwater detention will be provided in the village-maintained regional flood control facility in the Jackson Middle School area. To preserve the functionality of the regional flood control facility, the discharge cannot be further restricted. Therefore, the required allowable release rate for the stormwater detention volume associated with the new childhood center cannot be achieved, and a variance from the requirements of Article 9, Section 15-73A1 of the DuPage County Stormwater and Floodplain Ordinance is needed, and staff recommends approval of this ordinance. So folks, School District 45 is constructing their new early childhood center, and that's going to be about a 30,000 square foot building. And of course, with that new building, the stormwater runoff has to be detained, and that's by ordinance, not only in the village but at DuPage County as well. And so what the proposal is that the runoff will be detained in the detention basin already located at the Jackson Pond area, the Jackson Middle School area. And it's called a regional detention basin, if you will. And so not only will there's two requirements. There's the volume and then there's the rate of release. The volume can be attained, but the rate of release, the school district will need a variance for the rate of release, because the stormwater for the area will be combined with the stormwater from that particular development, that new building. And the stormwater release can't be restricted any more than it already is for that detention basin. So a variance is needed. So moving on for 13B for Monday night, May 10th, we have an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, establishing temporary executive powers pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 3, Sections 8-301 through 308 of the Villa Park Municipal Code, 65 ILCS 5/11-1-6 of the Illinois Municipal Code, and 20 ILCS 3305-11 of the Illinois Emergency Management Act. This ordinance extends the temporary executive powers contained in Ordinance 4217, approved by the Village Board on April 26, 2021, until such time that the Village Board can reconvene in an open meeting. So folks, we've had this particular ordinance on our formal agenda now for many months due to the COVID pandemic. And this ordinance particularly pertains to staffing, purchasing, and cooperation at a regional level. And it gives the village president extraordinary powers in those three areas to get things done if needed in this emergency disaster time. So moving on to number 14 for Monday night, we have public comments on non-agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience to come to the podium and comment on something that's not on the formal agenda for that evening. And then we have, moving on, we have 15, the village clerk's report. We have 16, which is the village trustees report. We have 17, which is the village president's report. 18 is the village manager's report. And then we have 19, which is adjournment. And so folks, it's going to be a ceremonial evening. There'll be lots of photos. There'll be the swearing in. There'll be goodbyes to the elected officials that are stepping away, and there'll be hellos to the newly elected officials. And then there'll be an event at the Sugar Creek Golf Course at 8 p.m. or so to welcome the newly elected officials and new board. So there'll be some light hors d'oeuvres and some conversation. So if you have some time, please come to that at the Sugar Creek Golf Course. And of course, we'll be following the social distancing guidelines and be wearing a mask. But also, if you have some time, you can come to the Village Hall and participate in the meeting. The Village Hall will be open. And again, we'll be following social distancing here as well, and mask wearing, etc. So hope to see you soon. Again, my name is Rich Keener. It's my honor to be the village manager for the Village of Villa Park. Hope you're well and healthy, and we'll see you soon. Take care.